This is Mile High.
Do I want to tell the story or do I want to show the message?
You've got a lot of work to do between Mile High.
The time has come where we can know
we have a responsibility, an ethical and moral responsibility.
We have to do it better in order to move people along.
Up, down, inside out.
If you get your mind right, it is not. It is a receiver of thought. Because love is my first technique.
it's now time for the show.
Hey there.
Dr. Danny, what's up, brother?
I am so excited to see you. We got the technology part figured out there, and I'm glad to see you live on Instagram.
Hey, it's a pleasure and a privilege, brother. How are you?
I'm doing stellar at mile high altitude. Where are you right now?
I am at sea level. I am walking distance to the Atlantic Ocean here on the seacoast of New Hampshire.
Well, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Well, let's get right down to it and make this super energized. First of all, we are so thrilled to have you on stage at Mile High. I guess it's a few feet above Mile High, like a yard, 3 feet above 5280. So to be on stage at Mile High, and you know, people know you around the world, around the chiropractic profession for all you're contributing to help people have more people on more tables more often, and for people to change spines and minds. So I'd like to ask you, first of all, what made you decide to be on stage a Mile High?
Well, man, you already said it. My mission is to help more people help more people. So I just appreciate the opportunity to do that. I love chiropractic, and I know that I look for the epicenters of where real chiropractic, vitalistic chiropractors are. Wherever they get together, man, invite me and I'll come. So I'd be there anyway, but what an opportunity to get up on stage and share the message, man. So thank you for asking me.
We look forward to seeing you in September. It's Mile High 13. I keep telling people, you know, don't let the 13 scare you. Like, I know there's elevators that don't have the 13 on it, so don't, you know.
Hey, we're contrarian. We're chiropractors. 13 doesn't scare us.
And the theme is Oceans 13. So that's going to be stellar, Vegas theme. I got to ask you, what initially sparked you to go down the path of being a chiropractor?
Well, my story started when I was a kid, about 10, 11 years old. I went through an incredible trial with my best friend dying from cancer. So it was, you know, at that point in my life, it was, you know, obviously a tragedy, but it turned out to be an incredible blessing because it just opened my eyes to what's most important, things like your faith and your family and your friendships. But definitely the importance of your health. And it was at that moment that I was set on a course. At that point, I had no idea what chiropractic was or what the wellness paradigm was or above, down, inside out meant. But that was the exact moment that I knew that, you know, my purpose. So ultimately, I've spent my whole life serving that purpose, which is to restore health. And I've been fascinated with what does it take to be a healthy human being? What do the healthiest people in the world do? And I've studied that really my entire life. And that took me on the path to discovering chiropractic. I have my own personal miracle story through chiropractic, and chiropractic gave my life back. And it set me on the course to become a chiropractor. Never looked back. Fell in love with my favorite chiropractor in the world, my wife, Camilla. Met at Life University at the first quarter party, 2 weeks into school. We've been together ever since. And now we have at least 7 chiropractors in my family, and it looks like I'm raising at least one more. So I am a chiropractor through and through.
Awesome. That's so great to hear. And then you found your way, if I remember right, to Life University.
That's right.
And probably along the way, there were some particular people that sparked that fire even higher. Were there particular people that you looked to as people that changed your life in the chiropractic world or mentored?
Yeah, you know, I actually found a lot of inspiration with some of the older students, believe it or not. I'll start there because it was really I'm a Gondroid, and it was the older students ahead of us in the Gonstead Club that really, truly inspired me and put me on the track. But, then I was turned on by, Guy Reekman. This is like, being around Guy Reekman, you can't, it's contagious just picking up on his spirit. But Dr. Sid was president of the school, and as much as we resisted going to our assemblies every week in school, by the time I graduated, I realized the value of that and really got switched on. So we were just around DE, believe it or not, we got the opportunity to be with you name it. I've been sitting at their feet at DE, listening to them. And then, people like Dr. John DeMartini, who've been an unbelievable, made an incredible impression on me, and just really is a real important mentor of mine. Dr. CJ Mertz, early on in practice management, teaching me the power of systems and really setting me fire and wanted to see volume. And then the list goes on. They eventually just turn into peers. And I'm just inspired by those world-changing chiropractors all around me.
I was very much influenced by some of those people that you mentioned. Actually, John DeMartini is going to be speaking at our philosophy night in Colorado in about a month, a few weeks from now. So, we keep wanting to spark more chiropractors towards chiropractic, and that the philosophy, science, and art, that adjustment and subluxation are at the center of what they do, that's the foundation, and people that the principles and the values are centered on what we do. This is why we sparked Mile High. For people that are watching and that want to join us live, it's riseuptomilehigh.com, riseuptomilehigh.com, where you can get all the details. And by the way, if you know this guy that I'm interviewing, Stephen Franson, and you know his last name, hint, it's Franson, you can use the code word Franson. It'll save $100 off registration. So if you're watching this and, people that are fans of yours sharing this, well, if you want to see him on stage at Mile High, then make sure you insert that code so that you know that. Now, fast forward a little bit. At school, Life University, right? Getting started in practice, some of the people that influenced you, where did it come along the way that you said, there are people that I can assist with the remarkable practice? You're making a huge impact with the remarkable practice. Where did that spark then say, we have abundance here and there's people that need help?
I'll say my pathway was definitely just God-led. We started as interns. My wife and I did an internship in Arkansas, where we were just really inspired by the doctor that we got to work with, who's just an amazing Gonstead diplomat, Dr. Lynn Burr. Then we moved on to Virginia, Roanoke, Virginia. We did let's call it an associateship sort of residency with Dr. Parker Adams, who I just think is one of the most brilliant chiropractors in the world, and had a huge influence on me clinically and spiritually. And then my wife, Camilla, and I started the original remarkable practice, Franson Family Chiropractic in Boston. We ran an incredible practice. We were very clear on what we wanted to do in that community. I'm from Boston. My wife's from Sweden. We knew we wanted to be close enough to take care of one of our families. We inspired her other two sisters to become chiropractors and stuck one of them back in Stockholm to take care of her family. But we were truly blessed. We had an incredible practice. We decided we were going to create a place where families could find a better way to better health. We focused on a few key elements, which was sharing the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So we threw strikes down the middle and taught about the chiropractic principle. We taught the chiropractic wellness lifestyle. We were really focused on driving not just better clinical outcomes, but a better health experience for everyone, heavy duty inpatient education, and we systematized everything. So my moniker in chiropractic is I'm the systems guy. I'm the systems guy because I'm attached to driving better outcomes that are predictable and scalable. So we systematized everything in our practice: attraction, conversion, retention, team building, collections, and I became a world-class team builder because I recognized what I was building was a job. I loved the job, I loved the work, but I didn't want a job, I wanted a business. Because like you, I know we're in the business of saving lives, and when business is good, everybody wins. So we created an awesome practice that was just tremendous. I think team building is my genius. If I have one, that's it. I know how to put together world-class teams, and I guess I'm probably best known for my associate program. We had 39, almost 40 associate doctors come through our practice in about a 17-year period. And it's not that I'm a horrible boss and they all quit and I had to replace them. We had like an apprenticeship. I wanted to give back the way I had, my mentors have been so generous with us. So we had a totem pole system where we had interns coming in. We'd have 3 interns on the bottom competing for the bottom of the totem pole, which is our exam DC, who we were grooming to become the junior DC, who we were grooming to become the senior DC, and then we'd launch them out into the world and their own practices. And man, that was awesome. I just loved that, and it made me realize that the reason I love being a chiropractor is I love to teach people how to be successful humans. Well, I love just mentoring these chiropractors, and I recognize what I love is coaching chiropractors on how to reproduce what we had. So that's really where I fell in love with coaching chiropractors and teams. And so at that point, it was a crossroads for me, and it decided after we had pretty much, I'd say, maxed out our practice, I started to feel the 4 walls. We were seeing 350 people a day, and I would have had to start working nights and Sundays. So I decided, you know what, I'm being called to start a coaching business. So that's where the Remarkable Practice was born. And we ended up taking off like crazy because, again, we're just committed to outcomes, reproducible systems. So we eventually sold our practice to one of our awesome associate doctor couples, and they took it and ran with it, which was just awesome to see. And now we have thousands of chiropractors in our Remarkable Practice ecosystem. It's an amazing opportunity to now have this ability to be infinitely scalable and help more people.
Excellent, excellent. So now this is all an important message for chiropractors overall that we're sharing here, that you're sharing here. And your message at Mile High, and from people that just joined us, there's a lot of people joining us live, riseuptomilehigh.com is how you can join us. September 25th to 28th, use savings code Franson, okay? And by the way, if you mentor with Dr. Franson, you probably don't need to use the savings code, you just pay the regular rate because he's helping you be super successful. Why do you think...
Pay double. Charge up people double.
I had someone say that to me once. He's like, don't give me a savings code. My doctors, they make good money, right?
That's exactly right.
Why is your message so important to chiropractors and chiropractic that they're going to hear at Mile High? Why is the message you're going to share there so important to them?
Well, Dr. Danny, I'll run this by you, and you can tell me whether you think I'm on track or not. So, like I said, you like me, we realize that we're in the business of saving lives, and when business is good, everybody wins. And everybody nods their heads and says yes, when I say that in front of thousands of chiropractors every year. That's the good news. The bad news is most chiropractors were never taught how to create a business, right? So we were taught how to create a busy job. And we love the job and we love the work, but it's a job. And that is not scalable. It's not durable, and it won't eventually be transferable, meaning when you exit, you'll most likely either close the practice or shutter it, or it'll be a fire sale or what have you. And that's just, we shouldn't have chiropractic practices retiring with the chiropractor, right? So my calling is to help chiropractors create the business that they've always wanted, right? So turn the job they love into the business that they always wanted. And, our tagline is, it's about creating a remarkable practice as part of a remarkable life, not instead of one. And, that can sound almost like selfish or, wow, aren't you on purpose? It's actually very much on purpose because I think there's something to be said for the net effect of a 40, 50, 60-year career where you've created a practice that supports your remarkable life and doesn't compete with it. So, if you have a job, that job's going to wear you out, it's going to wear you down. And so many of these chiropractors, they end up creating this quote unquote busy practice at the expense of their health or their excitement about practice or their family, their marriage. They don't know their kids. They don't take vacation, and none of that is sustainable. So we wanted to fix that. In my experience, most chiropractors don't lay awake at night worrying about their practice. They lay awake at night worrying about their business, right? And those are two sides of the same coin. So as much as we have awesome practice systems for operations, attraction, conversion, retention, team building, and collections, what we do uniquely in this space for chiropractors is we have chiropractic business school. So we actually teach chiropractors how to run a principled chiropractic business that's wildly profitable.
Now, here's the important thing of what you said that I love that you stand for, and I stand for the same thing, which is practices need to be in alignment. They need to be in alignment philosophically, financially, and art and team. And I think that's something that you focus on in my understanding of you, because people could be very philosophically centered, but then their financial plans don't lend them to themselves be financially successful, or
right.
they have things in such a way that the team isn't going to be thriving, right? Or that they have a turnover in their practice, and that a lack of alignment then stops them from being successful. Would you agree?
That's exactly right. And people think that these things are mutually exclusive. I was raised in an environment where, we were taught what BJ taught us, which was, what does it take to be a successful chiropractor? It's simple, three things. It's the art, it's the science, and it's the philosophy. And you know what? That is a beautiful story, but it's an incomplete one, especially as a modern chiropractor, especially as a modern chiropractic business owner, right? It's actually a fourth leg of that three-legged stool, and it's art, science, philosophy, and business acumen.
Mm-hmm.
And to pick up on your line of thinking, there is these things are woven together. They're not
Right.
different elements. Like, I cannot separate my philosophy from my science. I cannot separate my science from my art, and I can't separate my art from my business acumen. It's these things are all woven together, and that's when you have alignment. And really, my definition of success is when you do experience alignment. Yeah, I think you and I are aligned in our approach to that.
Exactly, because it's been very painful. I've had the times I've gone to, you like sports. My understanding is you're a sports guy to some degree. And I went to a baseball game in Colorado. I like watching the Rockies. You may like another team, which I'm not a fan of in Massachusetts, because I'm from New York.
Let's go
I'm from New York.
Sox.
I'm from New York. I grew up watching the Yankees. I grew up in the Bronx, but I love watching the Rockies here in Colorado. And I went to a Rockies game and ordered a hot dog. And the person engaged said, "Hey, Danny, Dr. Danny knows," and it was a chiropractor I knew that was, he worked the game because he had not been successful in practice. And I think that's a travesty. I don't mean to say something about that particular chiropractor, but I want chiropractors to live a life worthy of the calling they've received, which means they have to have the philosophy, science, art, and their business. Otherwise, they tend to go in another direction. I'm not necessarily talking something outside of chiropractic, but they end up not focusing on the principle in terms of the art, the how they practice and adjusting and subluxations. They end up adding more things that don't necessarily make them financially successful or help more people with what chiropractic has to offer. What are some characteristics of what you see in the most successful chiropractors?
Focus. Focus is my favorite F word. I think there's just too many distractions in chiropractic, especially today. And I think it's probably cliche to say it at this point. The main thing is keep the main thing the main thing. And it's truer more today than ever. So the chiropractic adjustment, we have a simple and elegant solution, and it is our unique success proposition for humanity, right? So at the end of the day, this cornerstone of chiropractic, which differentiates us in this crowded and confused marketplace of healthcare, this is exactly what we need to be leading with, right? So at the end of the day, chiropractors have to learn how to articulate the unique success proposition of chiropractic and stay focused on the main thing, because it's the only thing that's unique that we offer in healthcare. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do anything else in your practice, and I'm not dropping straight hate here. What I'm saying is, this is as much a business conversation as it is an aligned philosophical conversation. Mm-hmm. And what you're going to see is what you can offer as far as unique and exceptional clinical experience and outcomes for people is going to be found through the chiropractic adjustment and reducing interference due to vertebral subluxation in the human body. And all of the other elements that you want to bring in to teach the chiropractic wellness lifestyle, we've got to recognize that all of those things need to be positioned properly, where it's all about optimizing and maximizing the effect of the chiropractic adjustment. If you can learn that skill set, the sky is the limit. At the end of the day, staying focused is what's key. There's too many distractions. Whatever you focus on grows. Everybody says that, but do they really understand it or practice it? What you focus on grows, and you can focus on trying to make millions of dollars, or you can focus on trying to solve millions of different problems, or you can focus on solving one problem millions of times for millions of people, and you'll have all three of those things. So, Danny, it's all about the doctor who has the discipline to stay focused on telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and just throwing those strikes right down the middle.
Got it. Perfect. I want to ask you one more question before we wrap up. And again, everybody's watching. You want to be on higher ground in September. RiseUpToMileHigh.com. use the code Franson if you want to save money. You can also pay regular rate if you're super successful. That's what you should do. Okay, and probably the people that work with Dr. Franson, those are their category. And we look forward to seeing you in Colorado. But here's the question I want to ask: are there some common problems, hurdles, speed bumps? Are there common problems that you see doctors struggle with in practice, like repeatedly over and over again? This is some area that is that they need to get better at.
Yes. Okay. So I'll hit my 5 domains: attraction, conversion, retention, team building, collections. So attraction, biggest problem I see today is there's an addiction to digital marketing and trying to find new patients through digital marketing only. Digital marketing is awesome and it should be an amplifier, but there's 3 tributaries to finding more new patients, and that is internal, external, and digital marketing. Again, the 3-legged stool. You have to have 3 tributaries of new patients. You should have more new patients than you know how to handle. Number 2, conversion. Conversion is a reflection of your conviction. If you are not convicted around exactly what a patient needs for care to achieve their goals, and you make your care recommendations just based on 2 things, their goals and your findings, you'll have enormous conviction. And watch what happens with your conversion rates. And what you'll find is that people will be very, very happy to pay for their care, eager to start. You can charge more because money follows value. And if you're able to articulate that well to your patients, they're going to pay you handsomely and start eagerly. Number 3 is retention. Retention is all about creating value and delivering value. So creating value is making sure that you lean heavily on patient education, tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. What would happen to your practice if you told the truth? Think about that. People would never leave, right? So ultimately, it's about creating ideal patients and collecting ideal patients. Number 4 is team building. Team building is the hardest and most important part of this. It is the piece that I see chiropractors struggle with the most. It's A players only, period, hard stop. It's the first turn out of the driveway. If you do not bring on A players onto your team, it's just like following a GPS system. If you're supposed to go right out of the driveway and you go left, you are screwed. You can do everything right after that. It doesn't matter. You always have to start with A players only. Get the right person in the right seat, doing the right work the right way. And finally, collections. Money follows value. You have to start with your own reality check around your own certainty, conviction, and clarity around the value of the care that you can deliver. Once people pick up on your certainty, your conviction, and your clarity around the value of what you're delivering, money will never be a problem.
Absolutely. It sounds like you also would say they need alignment with all those things.
100%. Success lives where we experience alignment. That's where we have ease, success, productivity, profit, health. God is good, right? The word alignment is where success lives. And wherever you have any misalignment there, that's where we have dis-ease. That's where we have stress. That's where we have breakdown. Stay in alignment.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we got a lot of people watching live. I wanted to say, if you're watching live, give us a thumbs up or a heart or whatever it is. Comment where you're watching from. I'd like to know where you're watching from. Okay, so I see Dr. Joe Dennis from Texas. Like, let me know where you're watching from. And also, look forward to see you on Higher Ground in September. If you like, because a lot of people said, this is good. I hear people's comments right here saying, this is really good. If you want more Dr. Stephen Franson, then you want to be on Higher Ground in September. It's going to be extraordinary. Mile High 13, okay, Ocean's 13 theme. We are pulling out all the stops. You're going to feel like you're in Vegas, okay? So, and that being said, Dr. Franson, did I hear that one of your kids is going to chiropractic school? Am I right about that?
Yeah, that's the word. I don't want to put him on the spot, but yes, that's the plan right now. My son Sam's graduating from Liberty University this next year, and his plan is to go on to chiropractic college. So pray
That's
for Sam
exciting.
Franson.
I was
Awesome.
kind of surprised my son ended up going to chiropractic. It was kind of a surprise that he said, I'm going to do this, and he's halfway through. So hopefully he gets my son Danny gets to meet one of your little ones there along the path.
100%, man. What a thrill. Yeah, 100%.
So, and thank you for taking your time. I know you're busy. I know you're changing spines, lives, and minds all the time. And we're grateful you took your time to be at Mile High in September. And thank you all for watching us. We look forward to seeing you on Higher Ground in September at Mile High 13. Have a great day.
My pleasure and privilege. Thanks for helping me serve my mission, brother.